A man who once stood at the very heart of Nigeria's justice system, a former Attorney General of the Federation, a senior advocate of Nigeria, now finds himself on the other side of the law. Abubakar Malami, SAN, once Nigeria's chief law officer, has again been taken into custody today, this time not by the EFCC, but by the Department of State Services, the DSS. And what are the allegations? Terrorism financing. This is no ordinary accusation. This is not politics as usual. This is a matter that cuts to the soul of the Nigerian state. Let's slow down a bit and unpack this fact. And most importantly, let's separate emotion from due process. To understand where we are, we must understand how we got here in the first place. On January 7, Abubakar Malami, his son Abdulaziz, and his wife Hajia Asabi Bashir were remanded at the Kuje Correctional Center. And what is the reason? They were arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission (EFCC) on a 16-count charge bordering on fraud and money laundering, allegedly involving 9 billion naira. They pleaded not guilty, and Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court Abuja granted them bail of 5 million naira each. Legally speaking, that chapter was still unfolding. But then, something else happened. During EFCC lawful search of Malami's residence in Birnin Kebbi, something allegedly unexpected was discovered: arms and ammunition. And this discovery changed everything. Here is where many people get confused and emotional. The EFCC investigates financial crimes. It does not investigate terrorism. It does not handle illegal arms possession tied to national security. So what happens when an agency discovers something outside its mandate? The law is clear. The case is handed over. This is known as interagency cooperation. And in Nigeria, when it comes to terrorism financing, illegal arms linked to security threats, the DSS is the lead agency. So the EFCC did what procedure demands. They handed the matter over, not out of malice, not out of politics, but out of institutional responsibility. Security sources have now confirmed that Abubakar Malami San was arrested by DSS operatives. He's being investigated over alleged terrorism financing. There are multiple petitions against him. The probe is connected to suspected arms discovery. Let us be clear here. Investigation is not conviction, and allegation is not guilt. But also, no allegation of terrorism financing can be ignored. Not in Nigeria, not anywhere in the world. From the United States to the UK, from France to Saudi Arabia, terrorism financing is treated as one of the greatest crimes imaginable. Now, here is where history becomes uncomfortable. According to the source, when Abubakar Malami himself was Attorney General of the Federation, he made a clear public commitment. That government, he said, will not shield anyone linked to terrorism or terrorism financing. Those words matter now because today those same standards are being applied to him. Not because he once held office, but because the law does not recognize sacred cows. Justice must be blind, even when it is painful, especially when it is the powerful. Listen carefully to this statement from the security source. In quotes, no responsible government will fold its hands or turn a blind eye to weighty allegations of terrorism financing leveled against any individual, no matter how highly placed. That sentence is the moral center of this entire story. A responsible government does not panic, play politics, or protect the reputation. A responsible government investigates, verifies, and acts according to the law. Ignoring terrorism allegation is how states collapse, and covering up security threats is how chaos grows. This is not about Malami the man, it is about Nigeria, the state. The source concluded with words Nigeria must take seriously. In quote, it says, in Nigeria, the DSS is the sole security agency tasked with the responsibility of investigating such allegations. It would be best to allow them to do their job. This is critical. This is intelligence investigations, which are quiet, technical, evidence-driven. They are not conducted on social media, and they are not resolved by hashtags. They are not rushed for public approval. If Malami is innocent, the investigation will show it. If there is wrongdoing, the law will take its course. Anything else, interference, intimidation, or politicization, will weaken Nigeria's institution. Politicization in situations like the Malami DSS investigation will mean framing a security investigation as a political witch hunt, or defending or condemning someone based on party loyalty, not evidence. It also entails using media narratives to pressure investigators and turning a national security matter into an opposition versus government fight, mobilizing ethnic, religious, or regional sentiment to shield or attack an individual. Once this happens, the truth becomes secondary and public debate shifts from facts to factions. And this would weaken Nigeria's institutions. Let us not forget, Nigeria is under global scrutiny when it comes to terrorism. Financial flows, arms movement, non-state actors, every serious allegation is watched by allies, by partners, and by international agencies. How Nigeria handles this moment matters a lot, and selective justice damages Nigeria's credibility in solving this issue. So institutional courage will restore it. Institutional courage is the backbone of any serious democracy. It is the willingness of state institutions like the EFCC to do the right thing, even when it is uncomfortable, unpopular, or politically inconvenient. It is not about noise. It is not about headlines. It is about principle. Institutional courage is not recklessness either. It is not vendetta. Institutional courage is the disciplined resolve of state institutions to follow evidence wherever it leads, regardless of whose interests are threatened. It is the ability of investigators to ask difficult questions, the strength of prosecutors to file charges against powerful names, and it is the independence of courts to decide cases without fear, favor, or external pressures. When institutions possess this courage, the law becomes predictable, credible, and respected in Nigeria. Freedom to investigate and prosecute does not mean absence of oversight. It means absence of interference. It is no longer news that Nigerians have suffered deeply from persistent and widening insecurity across the country, from insurgency in the northeast to banditry and mass kidnappings in the northwest, and farmer herders clashes in the middle belt. There's also the southeast separatist violence and the rising urban crime across major cities. Insecurity has become a shared national burden, and lives have been lost, communities displaced, and livelihood destroyed. The public confidence has repeatedly been shaken. For many Nigerians, insecurity is no longer an abstract policy issue. It is a daily reality that shapes how they travel, work, worship, and even sleep. The human cost has been enormous, and the demand for decisive, accountable, and courageous state action has never been more urgent. So the importance of this case cannot be overstated. It goes far beyond the individual at the center of the investigation and speaks directly to the future of Nigeria's security, justice system, and democratic credibility. For a country that has endured years of terrorism, banditry, kidnappings, and communal violence, every serious allegation connected to terrorism financing touches a national nerve. Nigerians are not just tired of insecurity, they are weary of impunity. They want reassurance that the system is capable of identifying, confronting, and dismantling the structures that sustain violence. This is Impact Media. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. I will see you in the next video. Thank you.